So, come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. Got a Guardian Cryptic to get into. It's been a long week. Week's over. I finished the grid, get it uploading, and then I'm going to get in the shower. And then we're going to go out and we're going to explore Stuttgart. Going to be here for the weekend. Saw a lot of messages from folks yesterday. I really appreciate all that support. Very, very kind. I can't wait to get to answering them when we get back to the room. Chatting with all of you just makes my day. Seeing that is just an amazing thing. So thank you, really, truly, from the bottom of my cockles, wherever in somewhere here. But it just means the world to me. You have no idea. I just love interacting with everyone, and so thank you so much for all of that. We'll pull up our grid real quick. On the road, I know the quality is just not there, and I just please forgive me for that. But one of these days we'll figure out a way to do this a little bit classier when we're on the road. But nevertheless, I'm so glad that you're here. So, okay, I had issues getting this squared away earlier, trying to get the grid to fit in here. And I guess this is what we're going to have to work with. But, okay, predator, not one, half donkey, half calf, half cow, no animals here. And I got a lot of donkeys and yaks and cows going on and no animals here. I just feel like I need to put in zoo because I have no idea otherwise. Nothing's telling me anything specific about that. One supporting erection of commercial housing for animal. It's going to be one of those Fridays, is it? So we've got a Cryptic Crossword today by Boatman. Okay, Boatman. Sweet. Give mixed nuts a go. Mixed is my keyword here. So maybe we've got an anagram of nuts a go, which would spell nougat. Does that help at all? You know, I mean, it could be the London Zoo. Last above the grave, headless, risen even on Sunday, they're undead. Looks like we got zombies here. We've got zombies. So, inappropriate, sightseeing, missing nothing, revealing everything. This sounds like the Freikörperkultur here in Deutschland. You just try to wear a swimsuit in the sauna, see what happens to you. Let's see. Inappropriate sightseeing. I'm going to put naturism in here. Because I can't fit nudism. Same thing, though. One supporting erection of commercial housing for animal. In some parts of the UK, they say they can't afford a bite to eat. All are dead and drab. Maybe an olive because of the drab part, but I can make all are dead is in zero live. That feels really good when I can do that because that means I'm getting a little bit better at parsing through some of these. Well, Shotzi's tired of hearing obtuse, so we'll just call it abstruse cluing. One supporting erection of commercial housing for animal. I mean, I think this might be a llama. I mean, it's supposed to be an animal. We got a lot of animal crap going on here today, don't we? Can't afford a bite to eat. A bite to eat could be a canapé. Got an S here to play with. Architect of housing for beasts and a smaller one covered in fleece. Architect. Argonauts, wrecked bark. Wrecked bark. So Argonauts wrecked. Again, I'm thinking it's calling for an anagram, and that's going to be a long one. Let's go up here and see if we can do anything with what we've got clue-wise here. Storm and Beaufort scale, lacking components of real cloud. Oh my gosh, we got what? From a light breeze to a hurricane to winter gales. The whole Beaufort scale is, I think it's like 12 different, 14 different levels for a storm in that thing. I don't know. Having regard to predator, turned back stock. They're privileged to be locked up next to Raven's cage. Well, they're privileged. We just had this in the New York Times today. I'm not kidding you. I think these are insiders. Kind of a double definition, really, in a way. No, Taco was not in there today. But asada, and then, usually you get carne asada tacos. Maybe that's what it was. Having regard to predator, turned back stock. Is this a chef's thing? We're talking about making a stock in a pot. Architect of Ultimate in Homes, currently on London's East Side. Fill full of food, fried filleted. Filled full of food could be sated. I was just telling Jerry that's how I felt, that she got me some food from a taco truck today. Got me 2 bowls without the shells, and it was delicious. And I said, no, I'm completely sated. It seems to be a word of the day here. Architect of Ultimate in Homes, currently on London's East Side. Architect design home for polar bears. Got 3 and 6 polar bears, and I've got 3 and 6. And I got that A or I got that R there, but I think it's Arctic. Arctic. I'm just gonna have to start throwing simplified, wild arse guesses out there, because this is one of these grids that I don't know. Lacking components of real cloud. That could be obfuscate to cloud. I don't know much about architecture in London specifically. I do like architecture. Idle beast unearthed. Defying odds. I'm going to put in obfuscate. Shotzi would tell me to do it anyway, since it was the first thing I thought of. Bank on not counting pence and cents to be interchangeable. Bank on that. Wow. I mean, he's kind of spelled out for us here. Could be expect. That does nothing for any of this here. Idle beast unearthed. Defying odds. Unearthed. Maybe stagnate. Okay. Architect of Ultimate in Homes, currently on London's East Side. Oh, the Earl of Snowdon. I don't know which number it was, but he was an architect, was he not? So, having regard to predator, turned back stock. Turned back, maybe a footer. Having regard. Flower. I don't know. I'm gonna go with flower, I guess. Seems like there's like a a stock daisy or something like that. I can't remember. I try to learn about flowers as much as possible because it's like Schatzi's favorite non-human subject. Enclosure curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals range. Come on, you're gonna have to let me up a little bit in here. Though I will say I feel pretty good about the top half of this grid. I mean, lining up, but footer could have lined up in there. A lot of stuff could line up in here, so it doesn't mean anything that it lines up. Enclosure, curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals range. Eagle, one escaping from captivity to depart. Boatman, under back of big empty Yama house where roof ends. Where roof ends. I can do something with that. 5 letters going with a gable. Eagle, one escaping from captivity to depart. Isn't there's that bird that escaped. It was an eagle that escaped from the London Zoo, I think, back in the 60s. Oh, what was its name? I think it took off twice. Like, I think it escaped twice. Twice. I don't know. I saw a documentary on this crap. I don't know. I guess it was recently. I mean, there was some, you had a rhino or something. It got out and yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. It was just about this zoo, and it just kept losing stuff like in the 1950s and crap, right? I mean, it was just funny. Enclosure, curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals range. In a manner of speaking, expending money on, say, tea in a mug. Why can't they all be as easy as Gable today? All right, well, because it's not that kind of day. Architect, revolutionary, built new enclosure for king and previously emperor initially. Oh man. Okay, this now, God, why didn't I take more architectural history classes? Country intended to be heard in report. Okay, country. Intended. Okay, let that stew for a bit. Let it seep here. They might be seen on leader of Algeria after revolution. So after revolution again, maybe we'll have to anagram Algeria, and I could probably do no, maybe regalia. Okay, well, that's something. Country intended to be heard in report. Architect, revolutionary, built new enclosure for king and previously emperor initially. Is it Lubetnik, enclosure curtailing, eagle. Gosh, something to help me with this. I don't, Lubetnik. I think this would be a T and maybe an I. In a manner of speaking, expending money on, say, tea and mug, nothing. Enclosure, curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals range. Country intended to be heard and report. Okay, I'm thinking maybe statement then, because a state is a country intended, maybe meant. We just got to change the spelling. Come and like actually spell it correctly. Okay. Yeah, well, I didn't do anything here, but I'm trying to remember how to spell this fella's name. It's like his name's Reginald or something, Lebotnik or Lebetnik. I don't know. I honestly don't remember how to spell it. I'm gonna go with a Lube. Enclosure curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals range. Goldie! Goldie was the bird. Okay, so I have no idea. Palm tea, pull tie. I don't know how this has anything to do with anything unless you're not supposed to have tea in a mug. Maybe it's an idiot thing to do, but idiot fits. Polite. Oh, I can't make heads or tails of this. Oh gosh, I can't believe this is gonna sour me. Okay, you can see the solution. Bag it, a Tory activist in 8 letters. Argonauts, rec bar. I just want something to go on. I don't want to have to anagram friggin' 9 letters and make y'all wait that 4 minutes. That's not kosher. Architect of housing for big beasts and a smaller one covered in fleece. Tory activist. Boatman in time of growth after answer is hopeful. Hopeful. Well, I'm going to put aspiring in on that one. Hopeful, aspiring sounds, I don't know, right maybe? I mean, it seems like it could be right. Architect. God, how many architects do I have to remember here? I don't remember hardly any of them. I mean, you're really dragging it out of my brain. It hurts today, Boatman. It's Boatman, right? Yeah, Boatman. So, okay. Architect starts to build urban retreat to observe nature. Oh, gosh. Stare at the head of Guy the gorilla. That's another one that was in this zoo in the time period. That just sounds like gape. Stare into the head of Guy the gorilla. It just sounds like gape to me. So, okay. Argonauts. Wrecked bark. Argonauts. Okay, maybe Angostura. Which is interesting. I have Angostura bitters every time I have a Manhattan or a Rob Roy. But I think I read that you don't actually use any part of the Angostura tree for the Angostura bitters. I have to look that up. Now I want to know. Architect starts to build urban retreat to observe nature. No freaking idea. None whatsoever. But Tory activist could be an agitator. Tesla man's let off a prickly type. I can't get Elon or Musk in here, so wow. What news in the headlines today, huh? Okay, Tesla man's let off a prickly type. Prickly type sounds like thistle. It was a lovely, well, in Fort Worth, Texas, it's considered ancient because it was built in like 1850, but we did have a place called Thistle Hill, I think. It's an old home, one of the first built in the town. Okay, so architect starts to build urban retreat to observe nature. God, I don't know how anybody's going to remember that. I mean, I'm sure they do. Architect starts to build urban retreat to observe nature. Okay. Carbohydrates, fats, etc., not normally inert in vegetable and vegan protein sources, so these would be nutrients. Shotzi and I might know something about these things, maybe a little bit. So this is this architect that builds an urban retreat to observe nature. Well, but I'm not sure about that just yet. But up here, I think this might be Casson. Architect of housing for big piece and a smaller one covered in fleece. I think that his name was Casson or Casson. I don't remember anything about what they designed, but I do. You know what I'm going to do? I think there was a fella, probably a member of the aristocracy. I don't mean any disrespect. I just don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was Burton though. I did study architecture, but only in appreciative manner. I never learned to be an architect. I just don't like math that much. It's kind of what I did at the time, but now I actually love math, but a little late. So enclosure, curtailing boundaries of aquatic mammals, range, I don't know. I am an artist though, and I do work in both oils and acrylics, so I'm going to go with a palette. And I'm going to hope we got lucky. So let's check our work. I got to tell you, I didn't mean to do that, whatever I did. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to it. Oh, I thought I lost it all there for a minute. I was freaking out. Okay, so let's just check all. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, first of all, I'm surprised that I got all of this right except for Snowden. I meant to put an E here. Did I put an E? Is it Snowdon? It must be Snowdon. Okay, so there you go. I got that wholly wrong. And I don't know. Lubetnik, maybe? Is that what his last name is? I mean, I'm guessing, but I'd like to. Okay, so reveal word. Lubetkin. Well, okay. I got it a little backwards. It's not Lubetnik, it's Lubetkin. But on the whole, I mean, I'm just surprised. I mean, I could be on a game show right now, you know, where I could have won $1 gazillion, right, if I'd have come up with Burton and Kassan, and I would have never done it. But there's something about the Guardian Cryptic. It just makes me want to sit here until I figure it out. Okay, I'm actually beaming on this one. I'm surprised we got this far. And to be honest with you, it really is it's pretty darn good feeling. Yeah, I'll just be beaming for the rest of the evening. You just put me in a better mood, right? So now I'll be exploring Stuttgart tonight with an even happier countenance. A better frame of mind. Thank you. Okay, so I got just a little bit left to salute. Boatman, well set, very well set. And a cheers to all of you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. This is the ultimate puzzle of the week for the Guardian Cryptic. And honestly, it makes me think to myself, well, all I have to do is Saturday and Sunday on the New York Times. That's no big deal. There was a time when you thought Saturday's the hardest day of the week for the New York Times, and it can be a real booger. And then Sunday is going to be long and hard or long and easy, but either way, it's going to be long, right? You know, and all kinds of opportunities to fat finger something. And now I'm just like, whew, I get a couple of days off to just chill. The Guardian really works out my brain. So thank you all so very much for your patience and putting up with the horrible lo-fi tech and everything. The sound quality's got to be awful, and I just don't know how to apologize enough for that. But so much for so. It's the best I can do for now, but I just appreciate you being here. So until we see you Monday for the Guardian Cryptic, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Bis später, bis dann, bis morgen. Be well out there. Try to be nice to strangers if you can at all bring yourself to do so. Be well. Cheers.